This episode was not a fever dream. I repeat, this was a real episode. Seriously. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 26 of the Pokemon Journeys anime titled Splash Magikarp Put It On Slowking just dropped. This is a pretty unique episode where we get two different stories connected by a thread instead of just one. One is about Magikarp Jump and the other is about Slowking. How did the episodes go? Oh ho ho, let's find out. Immediately, you know this is going to be an interesting episode when the episode begins with Team Rocket basically breaking the fourth wall and telling us so. They're bored and James suggests let's train, so Jessie calls the gotcha machine even though they're in their base. So you would think that the Pelipper wouldn't be able to deliver the thing, but you would be wrong, as it literally knocks on the door and comes down with the machine. The Pokemon that Jessie and James get in the machine are Magikarp and Slowking, the two Pokemon that are the focus of this episode. The intro part actually had a few Easter eggs. There's the obvious Diantha picture in the magazine that Jessie's reading, but there's also the toy that Wobbuffet and Meowth are playing with, which is their Alola donut truck, and James is polishing the Pokeball set that he got from Alola and Meowth. So, a nice bit of callback there. But also, I specifically can't remember the last time that Team Rocket broke the fourth wall, but it happens so rarely that it feels special anytime they do. Anyways, the first story is Splash Magikarp. This is basically the story of how Go lost his Magikarp in space. No, I'm not kidding. Basically, there's been a contest for a while, 9 years from how they put it, to see whose Magikarp can jump the highest. For the previous 9 years, the winner has been Slowking, this bodybuilder trainer looking dude with a shiny Magikarp who has like an 8-pack. Go wants to participate in this contest with his large Magikarp, the Lord Magikarp that he caught 2 episodes ago, but because it's been living in Cerise Park for a while, it's gotten really fat. But fear not, Go's gonna train it. And this isn't your typical Pokemon training. This is literally boxing training with lots of sit-ups, jumps, hitting body bags. By the end of this training, not only does the Magikarp look ripped, but so do Ash and Go. Yep, what a bizarre image to see. The entire first half is basically a Rocky montage with Go narrating it. It is fantastic. And curiously, it's probably the most we've actually seen Go train an actual Pokemon. Anyways, we then jump straight to the semifinals of the Jump tournament, and Go wins his jump off against a guy who looks like a Magikarp, but barely. Slowking, the winner and the previous champion, beats his dude handily. Now, both of them are in the finals. In the final match, Slowking, before they start, says that he was holding back and that Go should be scared, which is when Go drops the bomb. Go's Magikarp has been jumping with weights on. That's basically his Rock Lee moments. These weights are so heavy that we see this hilarious sight gag of Slowking's Machamp struggling and ultimately hurting its back trying to pick it up. Now, let the match begin. Slowking's shiny Magikarp jumps, but Go hasn't. Has he given up? No, it turns out Go's Magikarp is storing power to jump as high as it can. He jumps past the shiny Magikarp and keeps going and going and going. And oh my, it looks like Go's Magikarp is floating away in space and isn't landing. The official rules state that the Magikarp must land for the jump to count, which means the winner of the jump is Slowking and his shiny Magikarp. Then we have Ash reading the obituary in this context to Go's Magikarp while the Magikarp Jump song is playing in the background, and that's where we end this part of the episode. Seriously, that was like a fever dream. I know some people thought this was strange or didn't like it, but me personally, I was cracking up watching this. You'd probably tell from the review too. Pokemon really knows how to do comedy well, especially since Sun and Moon, which gave them the opportunity to make episodes like this, which are out of the box. It's bizarre, but it's hilarious at the same time. Don't worry, we will come back to this story a bit later because it's the connecting thread, but I'm just saying, this is really a fever dream of an episode. Not only does it contain the song from Magikarp Jump, but it also has Boulder training with Ash and Go. And since we know that Go hasn't caught a Boulder or Roggenrola, one must assume it's Ash's Boulder, and that isn't even acknowledged or addressed. That entire first bit is just joke after joke after joke, and I love it. Alright, edit. So, it turns out the Boulder thing being there is part of the gag. In the app Magikarp Jump, one of the things you can do to train your Pokemon is called Boulder Push. That's what that was a reference to. Thanks to @FallenStarMaker on Twitter for pointing this out. Still though, that's pretty funny. The second part of the episode is the one titled, Put It On, Slowking. This one, I'm just baffled. I'm not really sure what to say because I'm still not sure what happened here. So, Ash and Go on an island filled with Slowpokes, presumably because Go wants to capture one, when he's looking at the Pokédex entry for it. He finds out that Slowpoke's tail tastes sweet and wonders if he could try it. First of all, why is that in a Pokédex entry? You are really asking for its tails to get chopped off by random people like in Gold and Silver with that description. And second of all, why does Go want to try it? Regardless, as he's thinking about that, he hears Ash eating and thinks for a second that he might be tasting a Slowpoke's tail, only for it to be ramen. That ramen has a picture of a Magikarp on the front. I really hope that that's just the ramen's logo, and not that it tastes like a Magikarp, because when the Slowking shows up, it sees Ash enjoying that ramen, and takes it from Ash to try it, and it loves the thing so much that it gives up its Shellder crown to Ash. And this is where the episode flies off the rail. I'm not even sure what happens here. Well, I do actually, but it's just so bizarre that it's easier for me to tell you to just go watch it than try to explain it, but I'll still give it my best shot. Basically, anyone with the crown becomes a Slowking genius, and it amplifies their trait to the maximum. So, for example, since Ash wants to be a Pokemon master, when he has the crown, now he thinks he's the Slowpoke master. Not only that, but he has insane reflexes and speaks in actual English. This, by the way, I want to see how they're gonna do this in the dub. Are they gonna have him speak in Japanese, or more likely, they're probably just gonna make his voice deeper and have him say smart stuff, isn't he? I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. Anyways, when Raboot and Go finally manage to get it off Ash's head, it lands on Go's head and turns him into a Slowpoke connoisseur who wants to capture every Slowpoke he can find. When it goes on Pikachu, he can make the crown float with his Thunderbolt. When it goes on Raboot, he can spin and dodge like crazy. They're basically just kicking the crown around and making it land on each other's head over and over for a while, before ultimately Go's Magikarp from the first segment flies back down from space, making a huge boom, causing the crown to go back to the Slowking's head. Then when the dust settles, somehow the Magikarp is on top of the crown of the Shellder, and the narrator tells us that all's well that ends well. And the insane part is that when we go back to Team Rocket to basically an almost identical circumstance to the intro where everyone's bored and James says maybe they should train, Jesse calls in the gotcha machine and you hear a knock on the door, only this time when James opens the door, it's not Pelipper, it's Kasauking, and the episode ends with James slamming the door on his face. What? The first half is pretty simple to follow. It's a weird story, but it's pretty easy to follow. Go wants to train for Magikarp Jump, goes for an event, makes it to the finals, almost win, but loses at the end when his Magikarp doesn't land in time. Okay, that makes sense. The second half? What? Seriously, I don't even know what to think about it. I guess the big question is, did I find it entertaining? And to that extent, oh yeah. But even so, I'm not sure how to review this portion of the episode, and it feels like someone was on drugs when they wrote the second half. There are definitely references here I'm missing for sure, because I've never played Magikarp Jump, but oh my goodness. Because one of the first things that happens in this episode is that the Slowpoke song plays for a while, and that shows us Slowpoke being Slowpoke. It's basically a song in 2014 that Pokemon released in Japan, and somehow it's used in this episode. But even that's so bizarre, I'm not sure what to think. I know this is not a good review since I'm just kind of rambling at this point, but honestly, I'm just dumbstruck on what I just watched. Honestly, you need to go watch this episode. Seriously, watch the next segment where I just give you my thoughts on the next episode. But after that, go watch the episode again, because honestly, I'm out of words. The next episode, we are coming down from this fever dream and into an episode where Ash and Go head to Galar to go watch a match between Raihan and Leon. Something that everyone can understand, and on the way, meet Sonia. I'm really looking forward to this episode, I can't wait. But anyways, that's it for my review of this bizarre episode of Journeys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments, what did I just watch? You can follow me on Twitter @TheRealPDGaming, and that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.